Hey, welcome back. So in our previous video, we added state to our React menu application to track whether the menu was open or closed. You can see if we click, it animates open and closed. In this video, what we're going to be focusing on is adding a transition delay effect to the menu, as well as adding text into the menu items themselves. So let's go ahead and get started doing that. I am going to minimize this window here. I have my terminal open, so I'm going to shut that down. Inside of my circular menu folder, I'm going to come into part 4. I have a node modules folder in there, so I'm going to move that to the trash. And I'm going to duplicate this, calling it part 5. Duplicate part 5. Perfect. Now I'm going to open that up in Visual Studio Code. The first thing we want to do is direct our attention into the source folder, into components, and into our circular menu.js file. In here, I'm going to add a new prop to our circular menu item component instance. I'm just going to call this transition delay, passing in the index multiplied by 75. Next up, I'm going to come over here into circular menu item, and we want to just add a new property onto our style object. Down here, I'm going to say transition delay. I'm going to set that equal to a template string, and in here I'm going to make a new statement injection. We want to ask if menu is open. Then we want to use the transition delay. We are going to destructure off the props up above. So transition delay. Go ahead and copy and paste that. Otherwise, we want to set it to 0, tacking on milliseconds right here at the end of our template string. I'm going to go ahead and say File, Save All. And with that, we should see something in our browser. I'm going to go ahead and, minimize the Visual Studio Code window. I'm going to crack open my terminal, and in here I'm going to type in cd followed by a space, pasting in the part 5 folder. Now I'm also going to run npm install, since we don't have a node modules folder in part 5. That might take a second. I can't speak today. I'll see you when that is done. Alright, our node modules folder is now done installing. All I'm going to do in my terminal from here is run npm start, and we should see our project in the localhost inside of our browser. Wait for it to load. And you can see, if we open this, we get a little bit more of an interesting animation. If I close, open again, we get a nice offset. From here, I'm going to direct my attention back into Visual Studio Code, and the next thing we want to do is pass down another new prop to our circular menu item component. We want to say page, setting that equal to the page we destructure up above in our callback function. I'm going to go ahead and say Command S to save that, and in our circular menu item, we can go ahead and destructure the page prop that we pass in. So, up here, page. This is getting a little bit long, so I'm just going to format this out onto multiple lines. Perfect. And down here, we can make a new span element, putting in the name of the page right in there. We file, save all, and come back into our browser. You'll notice we have the name of the page right here, but it's a little bit wonky. It would be nice if it was centered and it was, in a straight horizontal line instead of rotated with its parent. So let's go ahead and fix that. I am going to make a style attribute on this span here, and in here I'm just going to say transform. Transform. And we want to rotate this back to its original position, so we can just say negative rotation, passing that into the rotate function. Rotate over here, closing it, and tacking on DEG for degrees at the end. The next thing I want to do is direct my attention into my styles folder, into partials, and I'm going to go into circularmenu.scss. For the menu items class, we are going to define a few new properties. I'm going to say display, flex, align items, center, and justify content, center. Save. And if we come back, you can see now each of our menu, all of our text is aligned straight and it's rotated back to where it initially sat, and this is fantastic. Now, one thing we could do is snazz this menu up a bit with a better font. I'm going to crack open a new tab in my browser here. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to type in Google Fonts. This is where we can get some free web fonts for our application. I'm going to go up above and I'm going to search for Open Sans. And we want the condensed version right here. I am going to scroll down until I see the bold version with a weight of 700, and I'm going to select that style. Now you'll see we have two radio buttons. We have link and import right here. I'm going to click on import, and I am going to copy everything inside of this style tag, not including the style tag. Next, I'm going to come back over to Visual Studio Code into my main.scss file, and I'm just going to paste this right above our previous import. With that out of the way, I'm going to come back over to my browser here, and here you can see we have a CSS font family attribute that we can use inside of our style sheet. I'm going to Command C to copy that, come back over here, and I am going to make a new selector here. I'm going to say body, comma, HTML, and we just want that font family specified right there. If I go ahead and file save everything, come back here, and into my application, you should see our font is active inside of our menu right here. Now, I think it would be a good idea to specify a font size for our menu, so I'm going to pop back over to Visual Studio Code, and I am just going to give this a font size of 16 pixels. Go ahead and save. And if I come back, you can see everything is working just as before. All right, I think that's a good place to stop for this video. I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned.